Okay, let's see if I can't fall before I start the video. Hey guys, welcome back. I filmed a whole other video about this topic, but then I kept looking at myself in the camera and you can tell I'm not looking at you and it just didn't look right. So I'm refilming this. Again, things just to consider. Today's gonna be a really fun, easy video. It's gonna be me talking about things I did, some of which I still do, when I was broke. So I am going to go over just a few things that I did while I was broke. To be very clear, I'd like to clarify, in my personal opinion, this is the difference between being broke in my head and being poor. So I've never been poor, but I have been very broke before. I don't feel like I'm in the center of the screen. Is that better? Whatever, we're gonna think it's better. There we go. So being broke to me means you do not have hardly any extra money, and if you do, it's only for savings or emergencies or something like that. And I'm saying it's very minimal, maybe $100, maybe it's all relative. But being poor means you're choosing what you're going to pay just to get by. So you're choosing between paying electric or a phone bill, or you're choosing between putting gas in the car or paying for your child's field trip or something like that. That to me is the difference. It's not the same thing. That's just, in my opinion, how I view each. So I was broke, not poor. Again, I had options. I chose sometimes the harder way or the more difficult way because I was hell-bent on living different places, especially in my 20s in particular. So I lived a few different places: Alaska, Florida, Texas, and now I'm back in Kansas. Kansas is my home state. So very proud Midwest girl. The first thing I did when I was broke is I always made coffees at home. I still do this a lot now. I just knew it was extra money I didn't need to spend unless I had a gift card to Starbucks or a coffee shop that was local to my area that I was in. I did not spend money on coffee or drinks, really just any beverages like that. If I wanted an iced tea, if I wanted whatever, I would still go to a gas station and get an iced tea over going to McDonald's. I don't think it was probably that much difference, but if I had a coupon or I could make it at home, I would. Same thing for smoothies, and I'm still that way about smoothies. I love Smoothie King. I still love an iced coffee from 7 Brew. I thought all you guys are crazy for loving it so much, but when I tell y'all, I do love a blondie from 7 Brew. So good. So that is something I still do and I've kept in my wheelhouse. Next was, you guys are gonna cringe at this. Next was getting sushi from the grocery store. I still do this, but keep in mind the grocery stores I'm talking about are grocery stores where there is a sushi section kind of next to the seafood section, and they make fresh rolls each day. It's not like they were brought in on a truck, frozen or something like that. So, and at the Publix in my area, when I was in Hollywood, Florida, there would be $5 rolls, I think, every Thursday or something like that, and here it's on Wednesdays. So I still do that one actually, but I will only do it if the sushi is made in-house, fresh. Again, though, I'm eating sushi in Karajish, so you know, there's no ocean nearby, so that's been imported pretty far. But I'm hanging strong so far. If that ever goes south, I'll probably never want sushi ever again. Oh well. Next is, I hated this one, and these go hand in hand. So the first one says bringing food to the airport. I did not like that I had to bring food to the airport, but money was that tight for me at the time. I would bring not just snacks, a whole meal, you guys. I would bring a Smucker's PB&J, some Cheez-Its, a banana, maybe a protein bar, and then little chocolates or something like that as a dessert or a sweet. And I'd get so kind of like embarrassed, I guess, which is, it just is what it is. That's a hustle now. You know, I don't judge when I see, especially whole families at the airport and they're handing out their snacks to their kids and everything, because hey, I don't blame you guys. It's expensive. They triple their prices there at airports, especially out of Miami and Fort Lauderdale, which is the airports I was going out of the most. When I lived in Alaska, I did not have money to be flying around like that. Not that I did in Florida, but my parents would help me and I'd fly home for holidays. So I did not like that I would have to do that. I honestly feel kind of embarrassed sometimes, but you just gotta do what you gotta do, okay? So this goes hand in hand with flying economy. I still do this. My peasant self is gonna be flying economy for a long time. Even if I had really, really good money, I would still fly economy because there's other ways I'd like to spend, invest, save, give that money away even. Now I know people have made videos and talked about if you're flying first class, it's like sitting next to potentially your next employer, or, you know, sitting with people who are more elite or whatever. So neither here nor there. I will be in the back, okay? And myself will be in flying economy. I do not bring food to the airport anymore, whole meals. I do bring snacks still, but I don't bring whole meals anymore. It just takes up too much room, honestly. So, and then of course I do fly economy. Next one, which drives me crazy, America is so bad about this, and that is door dashing. You guys are crazy. In my opinion, if you are young, if you are able-bodied and young and you have a car and there's gas in your car, go get your food. They'll charge you these delivery fees and people are like, oh, but I have a free delivery. I'm like, yeah, that's because you've gotten delivery 7 times. So the 8th time is free. I don't think that's really free. And then I've heard and seen my friends really tip drivers very well, especially if it was a hassle to get in their apartment complex or their housing area, neighborhood, whatever. Nevertheless, I just will never understand that unless you're intoxicated, unless you are older, you don't have a car, or you have to share a car and the other person has it. I don't know. But to me, it's just like, it does not make sense. Also, I'm very impatient, so I rather be in pursuit of getting my food and know what's taking so long than waiting at home and seeing that little dot on the screen not move, or turn around and go the opposite way when you're watching it on your screen and you're like, oh, they passed our street. Oh, they passed it again. That just drives me bananas. I rather just know. The next one goes hand in hand with that, and that is I will always carry out pizza over delivery. Usually it's a discount if you do carry out instead of delivery as well. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's embedded in me that that broke girl will always be there, and maybe someday I'll do otherwise, but right now I'm sticking with that. The next one is something I still do till this day. I'm probably gonna do for a long time. I only upgrade my phone if I need to. This phone, in fact, is actually my work phone. I send any ideas or notes that I have to my work phone, and then I film on my personal phone. That's the only reason I have an updated phone in my hand right now. My personal phone is a 15, and I do not care. And honestly, I don't want to let it go because it's pink, and I know they have a pink new one, but I just don't care. I really don't. Okay. I'm back. The next one is only getting my toes done every other time. What I mean by that is when I go to get my nails done, I only get my toes painted, not a pedicure, but painted, and I get gel on them every other time I get my nails done because my toes grow a lot slower, and it's just a simple way to save a little bit. I used to actually do my toes by hand because your toes just don't chip as quickly, and then there was a long period of time where I couldn't get my nails done, and I remember thinking I will never complain about going to get my nails done, or try not to, because I wished so much when I lived in Alaska that I could afford to do that. But where I lived was an island. Alaska's already very expensive, and it was even then. I think it was 2017 when I was there, and I couldn't afford to get my nails done, and I thought, I will never complain about getting my nails done. And I do that still till this day, get my toes done every other time. Next one, oh, this is one I still do. I don't do as often, but when your girl was broke, okay, I would go to McDonald's and get McChickens. Yep, just McChickens. I would go to McDonald's, get 2 McChickens, one with no mayo, no, both with no mayo, and then I would only eat one of the buns, so like half the carbs basically. If I was really feeling crazy, I'd get a small fry with it. And I love their sweet and sour sauce. Unpopular opinion, but I love it. So still would eat a McChicken anytime. I just don't do it as often. They used to be like 99 cents. If y'all remember that, comment down below, okay? That was the best. My next thing that I do not do, it's one of those things I just never participated in, even when it was trending, and I'm a beauty girl. I love my makeup. I love glam. Getting ready, I could do a whole video over the process of getting ready and how meaningful it is to me till this day. But I never invested in getting lash extensions. I just felt that it was very time consuming, and I always say you have to pick and choose. You cannot have everything. Do you want your nails done? Do you want highlights? Do you want lashes done? Do you want wax? You have to pick and choose. You just can't have it all. So that is something I never invested in. At the time, I used stripped lashes when everybody was getting their extensions done, and now I use adhesive lashes. I dropped my ring earlier. I heard it on the floor. And they don't require glue. They're from Amazon. I can do a whole video over them. They're the best ever. And I love them. And they're just single use. If you really wanted to stretch it, you could do 2 uses out of them. And then I just do an eyelash curler and clamp them on and go from there. So I never jumped on that trend. Again, you just have to pick and choose what you want to spend your money on. Next is buying essentials from Dollar Tree. Shout out to Dollar Tree. You saved me. If it would have been in Alaska, I would have absolutely shopped there on the island. It was not, so there was no Dollar Tree option there, but I shopped at Dollar Tree when I lived in Hollywood, Florida a lot. I'm talking toothpaste, travel toothbrushes, hair ties. I would get toilet paper from there, which they give you about half of what you normally get at the store. So if I was really stretching the money, I'd be getting toilet paper from there. Any gift wrap, kitchen utensils like spatulas, spoons, plates, anything like that, I was getting at Dollar Tree, baby. Okay, shout out to Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree saved my butt. There was a time I truly could not even afford toothpaste. I tried to keep my bank account at a certain amount, no matter what, and I was absolutely at that amount. And so I went to Dollar Tree just to get some toothpaste because I was desperate, okay? So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That was a big one. Next one, which I still dabble in, I go both ways on this, is I used to only try to use drugstore makeup unless I got some sort of high-end makeup for my birthday or Christmas or something like that. Now, there are some products, in my opinion, that I have not found a dupe for that are not replaceable. For example, the Better Than Sex Too Faced liner. The liner, oh, that waterproof liner is so good. You cannot beat that. You cannot beat that. So, but for the most part, Milani, I think, is clutch. I know, I sound chooky. I'm such a millennial. I love the whole Milani line. I just think it's amazing. Shout out to that brand. I use it all the time. But there are some high-end makeups. But when I was broke, I absolutely like to use drugstore makeup, and I just made it work. You just make it work. That is something too about being broke. You learn to be more creative. You stretch things further. You become more creative. You look for dupes. It's not even a choice. You have to figure out a less expensive way to live life, to go about the process of trying to look like you have everything when you don't. So this is another thing that I feel people are not aware of, but if you are wanting to get your hair done, a cut, a color, whatever, and you're willing to sacrifice time, because it is a time consumer, go get your hair done at hair schools. It is so much cheaper. I would get my hair highlighted for a third of the price, and they did amazing. And people would be like, you let students touch your hair? Yes, because they always have an instructor coming by. And if it's a good hair school, they're checking on their student. They're making sure that they're doing their weave right. They're making sure that they're doing, and a weave is not just a weave that you can install in your hair, but a weave is the way they weave to do highlights in your hair. And they would do good. If I can, I'll drop in a picture of how blonde I got before, which I'm headed back that way. I enjoyed my brunette again for a little bit, but I'm ready to go back. I've been blonde for a very long time. So I think that concludes the list. Go to hair school, get your hair done there, and just pick and choose what you really want. You truly cannot, or you shouldn't, and you don't need to spend all your money on high-end everything, and just be mindful of these things. If you have other ideas, other things you would do when you're broke, comment down below what you guys did when you were broke, either in college, after college, growing up. What did your guys' families do? My family growing up was not broken anyway, but when I got off on my own, like I said, and I chose to move to other places, money was tight. I remember my sister came to visit me in Alaska, and I begged her to bring me American Eagle jeans, because getting anything shipped to Alaska at the time when I was there, shipping was not free, not even for Amazon, even if you were a Prime member. It excluded Alaska and Hawaii. I can do a whole separate video over what it was like to be in Alaska, things I learned, anything like that as well. And Florida and Texas if you want. I don't think Texas will be as different, but I just wanted to make this like a fun, light video for you guys. So sending love as always from your Midwest girl. Until next time.